Second take, live. John,
What's up?
DJ.
What's going on? John, what's going on?
What's going on?
Oh, you said I want to shake hands. All right. Second take is live at Canute's. Half Price Pizza Mondays. Our pizza just came out. Smells so good.
I know. I can smell it over here.
You ordered a pizza. TJ and I
Stuffed
ordered
pizza.
a
Stuffed pizza.
Stuffed
That's
pizza.
right.
They got everything here. Bruschetta pizza. They got buffalo chicken pizza, which is really good. Or if you're just a plain cheese guy, whatever.
They got it all here.
They got it all here. Plus we're here.
Half price.
Plus we're here. Full price. I don't know.
Free of charge.
Free of charge.
Doesn't get much better.
We got a live audience here, so if you hear any disruptions during the episode tonight, I do apologize in advance. TJ, John, how was your weekend?
A lot of work. Worked junior home and derby at the Park District this weekend.
Trying to stay dry. It's been a rough spring so
Yeah,
far.
wet May.
Yeah, a lot of cancellations.
Mother Nature. She doesn't like us. So, with that said, it's nice out tonight. It's going to be more rain this week coming up, but guess what? Second take has no rain delays. We do have a delay for Memorial Day. Hopefully you guys enjoy Memorial Day, whether you're working, trying to stay dry.
Yeah, a lot of
Bad
work.
weather, tornadoes.
Yeah.
My mom was scared. She was crying with the tornado sirens going off. I was driving home from Michigan and, Jacob, get home. Oh my God, what are we going to do?
So were you driving from the family's house in Michigan?
Family's house in Michigan, middle of Michigan, Decatur, Michigan, near Kalamazoo. They got a school up there in Ann Arbor.
Yeah, I
University of
noticed
Michigan.
that you got a lot of family up there.
Yeah.
How do you appreciate that?
So, oh my God, I didn't
Hold
even
on, get
know.
that out of the way real quick.
Yeah, oh, I didn't even know I was wearing this. Woo!
I'm
It's just
surprised you made it back.
Did you lose a bet or something?
no bet lost. It's just I'm a winning team guy. Like
Wow.
Cubs. I like winning
Who
teams.
just
I-
got
You still got to go home. Oh,
Yes.
yes.
We'll
Yes.
take care of that in the MLB section,
Okay.
TJ.
Sounds good.
God. But I did wear an Ohio State T-shirt in Michigan. So
And you're still here alive. No,
Yeah.
no bodily harm, no
no,
nothing.
they know better. What are they gonna do? So before we get started, let's get some birthday shout outs going.
Okay.
So, some birthdays. Willie, you are June 5th. Jean Bartucci. You know her from the village, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So, Flood Lothian, good shout out to them. And then CJ Meisner, June 5th as well. Another shout out from the panel here. Tommy McKean signed his college football contract to Madonna University, which is also in Michigan. So maybe if I catch a football game, I'll be repping Ohio State, Buckeye Nation, Urban Meyer costume. Who knows, right?
Wow. Good luck with
So,
that.
Good luck, Tommy.
Tommy, good luck. Best of luck to you and
Good luck, Tommy.
the football
Good job.
future. So, round of applause from second team and the live audience.
And live audience. All right, look at that. Tommy's got fans.
We got fans here for you, Tommy. So, congratulations. So let's get right into it, guys. NBA Finals. It's heating up, but that leads us to our first poll question. Who's going to win the NBA Finals?
You know, I hate to say it, but I think it's just going to have to go to Golden State, especially getting Kevin Durant back hopefully soon here. My biggest note on that is if Toronto can win or they need somebody else besides Kawhi to score 20-plus points. I mean, I know they got the bench and this and that. They got, role players, but somebody has to have a big game every night for the rest of the series for them to have a chance. Golden State's starting to get hot, so.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Golden State, there's just too many stars. Even when Durant's out, they're still. I mean, even at game one, Toronto, they edged it out. I'll give, Kawhi Leonard, just with the defense, offense and defense. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I was glad to see that. Obviously, we were off last week, so that Milwaukee series, man, talk about shutting down Giannis. But that's what great players do. They go on their best player in the game and they shut down. The thing with Golden State is just too many bullets.
Yeah.
It's hard. I don't think Toronto's out of it, but man, it's hard to beat Golden State. I can't go in. If I was betting, I gotta bet my money on Golden State. So.
Yeah, you hate to hate greatness. A lot of people hate Tom Brady, so I'm going Golden State as well. You can't hate greatness. A lot of people like to hate greatness, but you can't.
I don't think nobody's hating on them. They're just the best.
Drake, for example, hating on KD.
Drake, yeah,
Getting
I
in his
mean,
face, like,
they might as well give him a 6-man award. I guess he's.
was it Draymond
Yeah.
Green? Whoever he got in his face.
I mean, whatever. I guess he's doing. He's a super fan, trying to help his team win.
Super
trying.
fan. since when? April?
I don't
We'll
know.
get to that when we get to the NBA.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. So let's stick to the polls. NHL, Blues, Bruins, big game 3 that happened on Saturday night. So what's going to happen with the Stanley Cup final?
Again, you know what? I'd like to see St. Louis win. I mean, I know they're a division rival, but you know, I got a soft spot in my heart for St. Louis teams. I just happen to like Tarasenko is one of my favorite players, but they beat them up pretty bad, Boston in Game 3 on St. Louis's ice. So 2-1. Hockey is a different sport. I could still see it going 7, but I think Boston's going to pull it out. I know I picked St. Louis, but they changed my mind with that Game 3. I think they hurt their confidence a little bit.
I'm going to let it stick to my guns here. I believe St. Louis is going to figure it out. You know, this is a team that battled adversity all year long. You know, halfway through, nobody was even worried about them. They weren't in any conversations. And all of a sudden, look at where they're at now. You know, you play one game, boom, you get beat up. You know, they got outplayed every aspect of the game. You know, it was, I believe, 7-2 final for that game. You know, now they get a couple guys back. You know, they're getting a defenseman back. Adds things on both sides of the ice. So, you know, I believe there's still a lot of hockey to be played here, and I think St. Louis is going to have to pull it out in 7.
Yeah, regardless, I think it's going 7, and then, you know, Game 7 is possible. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked either way.
Like you both said, hockey's a different sport. I'm sticking with my guns and saying St. Louis. 71% say Boston, 29 say St. Louis. So maybe the table turned after that Game 3. People switched up their votes. But I don't know. Or we got a lot of Chicago people here, and they don't like St. Louis. So it could have been some bias. But,
Yeah, definitely.
You know, when your team got in the playoffs, the way I look at it is you're going for the team that you think is qualified. And that's why I said St. Louis. I thought they were qualified, and look where they're at now.
That's
Like
a
TJ
far
said,
different opinion since that last Game 6 we went to when they played them.
when the Hawks were in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You listen. Selective
I mean-
hearing on the panel.
That was a rough ride home. But I get it.
All right, another question that was probably the most populated, or I got some hate for
Here we go.
questioning this. So, Bears, do they finish below or above 500 mark?
You know, I don't mind that question because it is the game of football is tricky. You know, I'm always obviously I'm a big Philadelphia fan, so I always refer back to the Eagles. The Eagles went on a magical run. In the following year, they had trouble that first half of the year. They got beat up by some teams, and the Bears snuck up on a lot of teams that year. You know, so this poll, you know, I had to kind of, you know, I had to look at their schedule, look at the schemes, look at the guys that they brought in. New defensive coordinator this year. I went ahead and said above, but you know, a lot of people out there thinking the Bears are going to, you know, make a big run this year and stuff like that. It's a different animal. NFL coaches know what they have when you come into their building, when they come to you. Last year, the Bears shocked everybody each and every week. They brought it. Now it's not a secret. You know, you got a target on your back now. Everybody's comfortable.
Right. I still think they're going to finish above 500. I was upset about the question at first, but then I thought about it, like you said. It's not that out of the world question because now they're not sneak up on anybody. And now the way NFL works, okay, the Bears, and when the Bears win, they're going to get the toughest schedule, all the primetime games. And from what I understand from the players, what I hear back is those primetime games mess up their scheduling. You know, it throws them off. We got the game in London now, couple Thursday night games, Thanksgiving, so they're all over the map. And like I said, nobody's thinking on. And on a lot of teams that ain't going nowhere, playing the Bears is their Super Bowl for them. So
They want to crash their party.
I think it all depends on if Trubisky takes that next step. Because I think the defense will still be there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like you said, good coaches will scheme. And I hate to say it, but that playoff loss, Philly just kept it until a one-score, one-possession game. You know, the whole end, they figure out how to maintain and shut down Trubisky. When they knew the defense was going to stop them, but it came down, obviously, to a kick when we had a kicker that just, I don't know, we don't want to bring up old wounds here, but, you know, they had the book on it, and that's what happens in the NFL. So.
What are you thinking of, Mr. Conway?
Because I agree with what you guys say. I think teams are going to be out just to beat the Bears. So I'm going to go with the 9%, and I'm going to say they finish at 500. So that's not above 500.
Seriously?
Well, we have some fans in the crowd here that
Sorry. They are going to finish 8-8.
Miss the
So-
playoffs?
I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work out. Let's
Oh.
just see how the NFC plays out this year. Like
I'd
both
like
you guys
to see.
agreed,
I'd like to see the threat. The pull.
like both of you guys said, the teams are going to be out to beat the Bears. They're not going to be out to beat their division. They're going to be out. What really reminds me of the Bears this year coming up, they're going to remind me of KC last year. KC's lost a lot of weapons, whether it be a trade, be a suspension.
Well, who did we lose? If anything,
They
they gained a couple small
gained a
things.
couple,
Yeah,
exactly.
so
So you're a different team than last year, and KC is also different. They lost. We'll get into this in NFL, all right?
Okay.
We'll
All
get
right,
into
all
all
right,
this.
all right.
500 mark, so that's going to be full of for me. My favorite poll question, and I think these guys can agree with that. We can actually go in depth about it. It's been a conversation for the last couple seasons, and may change the future of the game of baseball. Do you guys want to see the MLB get rid of the umpires and go to an electronic strike zone, or leave my game alone and let it be played? So, TJ, how do you?
I'll take it. So, it's not just a yes or no question for me. But you cannot get rid of umpires. Okay. I would like to see an electric strike zone because it's been proven, especially this year. I think it's been atrocious this year. Now, especially because you have the strike, meter, whatever on the, you got the strike zone outline when you watch games. You're sitting at home. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. Obviously, everybody's their own, umpire or referee. So now the umpires are getting a bad rep because they're making calls that are outside of that zone. Okay. So I think you have an electric strike zone, but you still have the same amount of umpires, and the only thing that changes is the balls and strikes. Okay. So that's the only thing that I think we can kind of meet in the middle with. But other than that, I think you can't just hey, everything goes to computers. I think we're making progress with the the reviews and stuff like that, but
it's tough because it's part of the game. I believe umpires are part of the game, and human error is part of a lot of games. And I know what's causing all this chaos is, the money that the players and the teams are generating. It does. You get in a playoff situation, one bad call can cost the team playoffs, and all the owners are upset about revenue and this and that, and the wins and losses. But it's tough for me. Even behind the plate, I could somewhat agree with the automatic zone, but you take that umpire out of there now. Okay, MLB, they can afford to put an automatic strike zone. You get down to the high school level where kids, youth are used to an umpire in the back, and then all of a sudden they adjust to this. I guess you maybe behind the plate, but I would suggest as far as on the baselines or on the bases, like the NFL does. Manager gets 2 challenges, and if he gets the 2 right, maybe they throw him in a 3rd challenge. And if you get into playoffs or like a 9th inning, 1-run situation, maybe it goes to New York, like the booth, like the NFL.
Yeah.
I can accept that, but I don't know. Umpires are part of the game. Maybe I'm old school, but
kind of touching on how you were, going back to the high school and college idea. I'm not too sure about the college, but I know like you said high school, they don't have reviews,
Right.
So they have to make that adjustment, whether it's the league does go to the strike zone, like I was kind of saying. Then it's just the game's so much different up there anyway.
Yeah.
90%, not 90%, but a lot of times you're going to spend time in the minors before you get to the league, so you'll have time to adjust. But the younger guys and all that, I think it has to kind of stay the same. Like you said, not too many people are going to be able to, schools are going to be able to afford to cover that they're going to make this happen.
Right. It's money generated. At the end of the day, it's because a team that doesn't get to go to the postseason. Maybe there's a few bad calls in the season. I'm sure that cost them 4 or 5 games of attendance and TV money and all that, this and that, and that's why it's a huge thing, and you got to get the calls right. You're dealing with millionaires and billionaire owners, so I don't know,
Crucial moments, crucial games.
Yeah, I don't know. It gets reviewed a million times later on, sports shows of how the call was missed with, all this, see it. They can review it 100 times in HD TV. It's tough. It's tough. I feel for the umpires.
Yeah, so it's another situation where we have a bunch of different angles that we can watch, and we're our own refs at home.
Okay, we got a fan poll. We gotta address this.
So,
Okay.
turning into our next poll, our fan favorite, do the trees sign Bill?
Men's softball out of Midlothian.
Men's softball out of Midlothian. So 80% say yes, which was John and I said yes. 20% say no, and TJ, go ahead, explain your reasoning, because that's the question here.
What's the question?
Why?
Can we read the question?
Real question is, why TJ said my dad was washed up? You know who asked this question.
Yes, I do.
Okay, I don't. Okay.
I have a lot of experience with softball, coaching, running teams the last 4 or 5 years now. We started out, Billy, you were great. Threw strikes, got the job done, didn't have support around you, and that was my fault. But age gets us all, my man. All right? And it just gets to a certain point where you can't throw strikes, and there was other available reasons you didn't decide to come out this year, and that's fine. And it's not me looking to have help other teams or anything like that. Like, oh hey, I'm afraid of the trees now because you're pitching. This is just my general knowledge on the strikes to balls ratio. Okay, and the hitting. The hitting's gone down, big fella. You can't really run the bases. I think it's maybe time to hang up the cleats and call it a career and maybe coach third base with me one day. Other than that, though, I love you, but
Where is Bill? Bill, you know what the
Okay,
news is.
Let me just tap into that. So it's basically numbers decision for you, right, TJ? It's
Yes.
nothing personal.
Oh,
of course,
100%.
nothing personal.
I do everything
So-
by the numbers, and I love Bill to death, but at the end of the day, you got to go by the numbers.
With that said, obviously the poll question, 80% said trees should sign him. And with that said, even if it's a little, his numbers were down with Misfits, I think the trees need all the help in the world they can get. So it couldn't hurt.
Well, tuning in now is Doug Bulow. So, Doug,
Yeah.
I guess you said you could sign him for one day against the Misfits. So, I think Second Take will make an appearance at men's softball on Wednesday.
Yeah, that might be a special episode.
We'll do a one-day contract. So, hopefully we can do that, and hopefully, since he's washed up, nobody will tell
Well,
the league.
time will tell, and speaking of time, Bill, you better get this game in because, like I said, Father Time catches up with everybody, buddy.
All right, it sounds like you have something to prove, Bill. So, Doug?
All right. Wow. The
I
mic just dropped.
Right, I work with Doug, so I'll see him off the show, and then we'll talk, and he's ownership of the trees, and we'll see what happens.
So,
it's his call.
Bill, you were called out here, and Bill, I think right now is saying
Or the
you're
wife?
crazy.
No, the wife.
They share a Facebook.
Okay, so
They
we
should.
don't know who this is. All right,
So
well,
Bill or Melissa talking.
Okay, wait, it's a hot topic.
Bill and Melissa, you guys are more than welcome to come here. We got free pizza for you guys. Come on down. We want to hear this debate. I think
we might have to change that schedule for that game to a primetime slot.
Yeah, it might be
That's
field
good.
one. Field one under the lights. Second Take Gossip.
So, sometime an outsider looking at this, on a 1 to 10 scale, what would you say Trees Misfits rivalry would be that?
I don't know.
It's definitely a high end because we signed a couple of free agents in the offseason here, and those guys really don't get along with some of the trees.
Okay.
I don't really buy into that kind of stuff.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of guys on the trees that I respect, and I've coached with and stuff like that, and guys like this. But at the end of the day, you gotta play the game with softball. I don't try to let other team. To me, rivalries you get distracted.
Whatever happens
It's all in
between
your
the
head.
white lines stays between the white lines.
Yeah.
Okay.
So-
I can respect that.
It might be all in the head, but it will be a good game to watch. So I don't
Right.
know.
Wow, that's been a hot topic for a few weeks
Yeah,
now.
so hopefully we cleared the air there. Maybe by the end of this week we'll have a contract signed. So Bill, you're hearing this. Doug, you're hearing this. Make it happen. TJ has no issues because he says Bill is #washed up.
Okay.
John, I'm going to lead you into this next segment. You wanted to throw this segment into the show, so
Yes.
Let's start it off.
Before we get onto that subject, I heard through the grapevine that elderly woman had some trouble pumping gas. That you stepped out of the car and gave her a hand. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
I won't go into depth, but I'll explain my story. Wasn't really an elderly lady, so let's just clear that out.
I wasn't sure.
Okay, it was a young lady. She's pumping gas. It's nice out, and I'm a nice guy. As you guys heard on my radio show appearance, I'm a very friendly guy. So I saw her pumping gas, and she had a passenger, which happened to be a gentleman. It could have been her son, brother,
And he had no,
boyfriend.
made no attempt to get out of the car.
No attempt. He was leaning back on his phone. I said, "Ma'am, I'm
Laying
putting
out.
her gas." And she said, kind of gave me that look, and then the guy's look was even funnier. He was like,
Yeah, well, because it made him look bad, real bad.
so it was just a kind of pay it forward kind of deal.
Hats off.
Well, good for you.
So it's
I'm glad that there's one good Conway coming out of that thing.
So,
which
we just-
leads me into my next segment. I want to start a new thing this week, going forward, with your guys' blessing. I'm gonna call this Serta's ejection of the week. So, as you know, Bremen softball had their banquet, and I happened to be on the clock doing the field that night. So, stopped in. The commissioner, your dad, called me and gave him a hand loading up all the food. So, load up all the food. Seen a couple of that softball girls, current softball girls, getting all their accolades. I happen to be standing there, and then I get a text on my phone. As I'll call her by her name, Jennifer Conway. Is she in the crowd today? Yeah, let's point her out.
She
Right
is,
here.
live
Right
in
here.
the crowd.
Jennifer Conway. Snaps a pic of me sending it to my wife, saying,
Oh.
"This one's not doing nothing." After I just loaded all the food out of the cart onto the table. Then, at the end of the night, loaded the food back into her truck. And I come home to this pig. So,
wow. You were
for
kind
the first one, the ejection, annual ejection of the week goes to Jen Conway. Gone.
Get out of here.
This is awesome. You are out of here, John.
So-
That was a great segment. Hopefully next week you can
And
find.
one of the rules that I'm going to implement is there's no limit to the ejections. So you can stay on that list.
She can go like
So
back
let's
to
see.
back to back weeks.
Right. You got about 6 days to pick it up. So let's go.
She's got some slack to pick up. She's got room to make up. So that was all the polls, all of our segments. Let's get into the real talk, guys. NBA Finals are in full swing. Gentlemen, take it away.
Go ahead, Doug.
TJ, that's TJ.
TJ.
Well,
Whatever
I
you
think I
want,
kind
Doug.
of touched on it
I got the
earlier.
trees. I got the trees rivalry. Man.
Doug, you're in
Yeah.
his head.
Yeah.
Big question right now is, can Toronto win in Oakland? It's going to be tough. You know, obviously, Drake, I don't know if you're going to make that trip. You know, we'll see what happens here. Cousins is starting to heat up for the Warriors, coming back after all that time missed. You know, he's had a couple slow games. His minutes were down because obviously you can't just throw somebody into the fire and expect him to play 30 minutes after missing the last 2 months. Klay Thompson got an MRI on his hamstring today. Not heard on that status, but they are he's looking to go on when I believe it's Wednesday they play next. So they're,
5th, yeah.
Yeah.
they're pretty high on these and end up being able to play. But that's just kind of something to keep your eye on. Like I said earlier, for Toronto to win, even just another game or even to make it a series here, somebody has to score 20 plus points besides Kawhi Leonard. I get, you know, the first game, it was a team win. Most people had about 8 plus points across the board, about 8 or 9 guys that played. Kyle Lowry has to step it up. Gasol has to step it up. You know, these guys are gonna be, you know, they're playmakers last year. And now you got a star, and he's scoring 30, 35, 40 points, and you got guys scoring 7 points. And against a starting 5 that can put up, you know, 30 points by themselves, you know, each. So I think that's the supporting cast in Toronto really needs to step it up.
Yeah, I don't even know what else to say on it. You said exactly what I was thinking. I mean, Durant comes back. I mean, that's just another scorer they got to worry about. Like I said, I think the Warriors are keeping that Klay Thompson injury, non-injury under wraps. Which, hey, games and shit. I get it. The title's online. You don't, unless you have to say something. I wouldn't say nothing either. So yeah, man, this is tough. I really like Toronto, but listen, Kawhi Leonard can't do it all. I mean, the guy is amazing. And you know what? It's really sad because I believe that if they were to pull this out, there's a chance he might stay in Toronto.
Right.
You know, sign there, but I don't know. It's just, man, the Warriors, they're a great team. Like I have to admit they're up there in some of the great teams I've seen. And if they pull this one off, what is this going to be? 4 out of the last 5 with this team, right?
I believe so.
3
This
piece.
is,
And they had the 1 year against
yeah.
Cleveland they lost, but they won the year prior to that.
This is would be their 5th year going. This will be their 4th championship together. I gotta pick Golden State like earlier with the polls. Would I love to see Toronto win? Absolutely.
think we all would.
But
It's a great match.
Just a little change, and I'm not, that's not hating on Golden State, but
No.
I mean,
Change.
Wow.
Exactly.
you gotta. I'm always a big underdog fan, but like I said, the numbers don't lie. The numbers are not in Toronto's favor, especially playing 2 games now.
yeah.
So they have to at least split here to have a chance.
So, and again, just before we get to the next subject, the little Drake antics. I mean,
I love it.
Got
I
a
do.
plan?
I do. Listen. I like the Drake antics. Listen, he pays. I don't know what he pays. They pay him to be there. I think he's like some type of ambassador or
Six
something
man.
for the team.
He
Yeah,
has something
listen.
to do with the program. Yeah.
Right.
Like Bill Murray for the
Hey, listen, you bought a ticket courtside. That's a lot of money. Hey, Draymond Green wants to walk past you and say something to you. You got the right to say something back to him. You know, I don't blame him.
My theory on it is for all the people out there that are hating on Drake for what he's doing with this team. If you and I sat down and talked, if you and I sat down and talked about the Cubs, and I was hating on the Cubs, what are you going to do? You're going to hate on the Sox. You're going to kind of try to, back up your team. He's just being a fan. He's just getting excited.
I don't blame him. I mean, if you're Toronto, a few years ago, just like Drake, man, you started from the bottom, now you're here.
There we go. I mean, so back to the series. Enough about Drake. Okay, you can go back to sitting courtside, and we'll sit couchside and watch.
Do
it
we
on
think,
TV.
hey, like TJ said, do we think he's making a trip to Oakland?
Yes, he'll be there.
He'll be there.
He'll be
Maybe
there.
in the suite, maybe not courtside, maybe in the suite.
He'll
He'll
be
pull
there.
some strings.
Yeah.
Series is tied 1-1. It's going to be a big game 3, just like the NHL. Big game 3 on Saturday night. So let's take it into our next subject. Boston's up 2-1. How game 4 look in St. Louis?
Man,
Tonight.
wow. Man, I think Washington hurt their confidence a little, but like I said, we were talking before the show started. Hockey, totally different animal. Like, these guys, I mean, they fight. I mean, they can fight tooth and nail, and you got 2 teams that are. Boston, they've proven overall they've been the best team all year. What St. Louis is playing with house money, like you said, TJ, earlier. I mean, anytime the chips are down with them, they always seem to find a way to win. And when everybody's counting them out, they come back. So I really don't know what's going to happen in Game 4. I believe St. Louis might pull this out. But
I would like to see, and I think just like you guys are hoping for NBA, I think it's going to go 7. I think both teams are going to go 7. And it's going to be close because, like you said, hockey is a completely different sport. Overtime and just the whole traveling days off, just like basketball. I mean, all these sports and playoffs are tough. So,
And you know what? NBA NHL, man, good year in playoffs this year, huh?
Yeah.
Man, seriously.
Lot of-
I mean,
lot
I've
of
been interested
underdogs.
the whole way.
a lot of underdogs and just
Yeah,
the
you
rope off
really.
section real
I mean,
quick.
besides Golden State, nobody's shocked that they're in the finals, but hey, anybody had a chance this year. Especially you got into the second round of the playoffs in each league. I mean, I wouldn't have been shocked whoever made it to the finals.
Yeah.
So I mean, hey, more teams in it, more money, more ratings. I'm sure the NBA and NHL love it.
Two big things with the NHL Game 4 tonight. The Blues get their defenseman back. Vince Dunn. He's a two-way player. He's going to add some weapons. He's also, got to add some weapons on the offensive end too. And it's also interesting after a 7-2 loss, which I love the idea. I love the fact that they're going to stick with their guy in Jordan Bennington.
Yeah, Bennington. Yeah,
Bennington, I believe.
They said it's his net. They're going to stick with him, and that shows a lot of confidence. If you pull your goalie after one bad game, guess what?
No.
The rest of the team is kind of be like, all right, well, what's going on?
give it up. He got you there.
You know what? And that could do.
He's had a heck of a year.
And hey, listen, he's doing something right at the post because he's here in the NHL final. So I mean, you gotta give him that game. You gotta hey, it's one loss. You gotta give. I mean, it's it's tough. It's in the finals, but
Even if
you gotta stick with them.
Even if Boston goes up 3-1 here, as long as it's a good game, if it's 5-2, 4-4, you're going to be looking at 4-1 series here.
And essentially,
They're
St. Louis is playing with house money.
Yeah.
So
is tonight's game 4 in St. Louis before they go back to Washington a must win for St. Louis, or is it?
I would say yes. Because then 3-1 still with the home ice for Boston. That's tough. That's super tough. It's going to be tough as it is with even being tied up with the home ice. I think in this series, well, I guess I can't say it after last game. I thought home ice would be a big issue, but I think it's a must win for St. Louis. I'm gonna go say yes.
I'm going to go ahead and say no, it's not a must win, because I believe hockey is a little bit different with the home ice situation. It's not like football where, all right, when your home team is on offense, you're a little bit quieter. The arena is just, it's a madhouse. All of it's going.
Right.
You know, yeah, they might be booing you or this and that, but guess what? It's just noise when you're on the ice.
Right, I'm sure, and those guys are pros. They block it out. You
So
know.
if they go down 3-1 here, I actually might even like their chances a little bit more because that goes throughout their whole second half of the season. Their backs against the wall. This is what they've done all year, and they're going to figure out a way to at least. If this series does anything, it's at least going 6.
You know what? And I like what you said, hockey being a different sport. I think almost like you said with Boston being up 3-1, you're almost like it's almost more special to close that series out. You know what I mean? So yeah, like you said, it's unpredictable. I wouldn't be shocked no matter what.
Just a note here. January 2nd, St. Louis was in 30th place, so that's second to last in the league. January 2nd, little before the halfway mark,
Few
but
weeks there, but
that's a lot to say of how hockey is a different game.
yeah.
How much teams changes
It
can
is.
change the standings
You go from last place to being one of the last
first
two
or
teams.
second. So
Yeah.
it's
the
definitely a
it's the
big
only
change.
league that I feel is when you 1 through 8, it's anybody's cup.
That's why I love the
You know,
format. So the draft is in the end of June. Bucks got third pick, so hopefully that'll brighten things up in Chicago.
We need playoff hockey players.
So
Absolutely.
speaking of drafts, MLB draft starts tonight, and let's start the hot topic of the MLB.
I'd like to start this one off. I think the hot topic is the Cubs getting swept by St. Louis. How do we feel about that, Mr. Conway?
Cubs have St. Louis in early May,
Yeah.
so we'll take 1-1. They swept us, we swept them. If you look at the standings, who's ahead of who?
I would half game.
Who's ahead
half
of who?
game? 1 game maybe?
Who's ahead of who?
I think the Brewers are in first now,
2
right?
games. That's where we're ahead of.
So, like I said, if we can go back to the footage at the beginning of the year, this division's coming down to the end. I wouldn't be shocked out of the 3 Brewers, Cardinals, or Cubs that who wins that division. What I do think though is that division's so tight, you better win that division because I don't think a wild card comes out.
Absolutely. This goes with my issue with the MLB and how many division games they play. Because this division just beats the crap out of each other all year.
Yeah.
They see the very best all year, and sure, it doesn't pay off at the end of the year in playoffs and crunch time, sure. But, you know, the NL Central is the best division in baseball in my opinion. And that's coming from the Sox fan.
Yeah, see, I'll second that.
You know, right now, you
Third
got
that.
Okay.
you got Milwaukee leading that division. The Cubs are in second. St. Louis is in third. Pittsburgh's in fourth. Cincinnati's in fifth there. They're all within 6.5 games. You know, that's the tightest race out of all of baseball. Granted, it's early in the season still. I know we kind of jumping down all the time with this stuff, but you know, they're going to beat up on each other all year long, and it's going to come down to like that last week that we said a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it's-
The 2 hottest teams in that division, though, I have to go with St. Louis and Milwaukee. I mean, I get, you know, the Cubs just got swept. They had a nice win today, but when you look at the St. Louis in the last 10 games, like, they're just hot.
And to come off that, to me, I heard earlier this week that Theo contacted Craig Kimbrell's agent, you know, just to see what he's doing. I think you've got to make that move. Win or lose, you're going to regret that you didn't make a move. I don't care if it pans out or not. When it comes down to that last week of September, and you're below game in a tight division race, the first question that's going to hit Matt and Theo is, how come inside the pool? I'm telling you. What? How do you feel? You think you need them or you don't?
I don't think we need him.
Who do you got?
I like to stick with our guys.
Give me one guy. Give me one guy that you can count on. In that.
Pedro Strop. He's a knucklehead in the beginning of the season, even in the middle of the
There
season.
we go.
But he's locked down at the end of the season. Even
Okay.
with his crooked hat.
Okay.
I hate the crooked hat. I hate what he does, but it's just how he is. He scares me to death until August, I'd say, and then he finally locks in. And it's the guys who are in the 6th, 7th inning. And going back to why I wouldn't sign Kimbrel, look what happened last time we signed Vic Logan in a rolling check.
It's still
It was
holding out.
championship.
You won a championship.
All
You
right,
won a
we won a
championship.
championship.
Whatever
Congratulations.
you
It
want to call it.
wasn't for him. We had to use him.
So-
And there was a lot of close calls. Yes or
So
no?
what are you going to tell me? So when you signed him at that half season, that he didn't matter that whole half season to get you where you're at, to win that whole thing?
I'm not saying that. I'm
Come
just
on.
saying
Come on.
it wasn't a move that I was happy with.
Okay, well, are you happy with your little banner that you always talk about?
Little banner is newer than the White Sox banner. It has
Bottom line,
about it.
Cubs
There we
need a
go.
closer.
Cubs do need a closer.
They do. Whether they get the guy back or they
Whether
go out and sign somebody, they need one. And I'm not a big fan of who's coming back, but
You know who they should never let walk? Wade Davis. Can we agree on that?
I mean, I guess.
Can we agree on that?
But then,
there's better
okay.
qualities out there. When he's
If you're talking
He
about,
was our guy.
if you're talking about you shouldn't have let Wade Davis walk, then why not sign him? Like, why not? What do you have to lose? I'm gonna tell you right now, that window is closing on that team, and I think this is their last push.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked if they pull it out, but this is their last push.
All right, we'll switch gears. The Sox are 29 and 30. They're not even at 500, so I don't know why we're still having this debate. 11 and a half games out. They're in second
Okay.
place. Minnesota has that division.
ready,
You can
Mr.
right here.
I'll let you handle
6
this
and
one.
4 in the last 10.
Be my
The
guest.
division goes Minnesota 40 and 18. The White Sox 29 and 30. They're also tied with Cleveland, Detroit, and then Kansas City. TJ, what you got?
Take it that way, TJ.
Minnesota will not win that division. Okay.
Bold prediction. I like it.
Minnesota will not win that division. I'm not saying the Sox are a guaranteed lock. They have some work to do. And that bullpen, that offense is,
Who's winning the division?
it's going to be between the Sox and Cleveland. If you look at the Sox, next 7 games here, we play Washington for 2, KC for 3.
KC, who's
Washington,
in the Sox headroom.
absolutely.
Okay.
We just got
Well, there's some unfinished business there.
and then
but-
another 2 for Washington. It's 2 bad teams for 7 games that the Sox could potentially go on a 6-1 swing here. Okay, we're only 11 back, and there's a lot of baseball left.
Oh.
And the Minnesota Twins are playing absolutely tremendous right now behind Polanco at shortstop.
A lot of they're averaging like history for home runs in the season.
They are. So, are you going to bet your money on teams just getting hit a home runs all year?
I'm gonna bet. I'm gonna stick with Cleveland, Minnesota.
Their team ERA right now is 4. All right, which is not terrible. It's about average.
The White Sox bullpen.
Right.
So-
That's what I'm saying. If we go out and sign a couple guys at the trade deadline here,
Or how about this? That division is up for grabs.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I just
Okay.
but Minnesota will not win that.
And that's why the Sox will still have a shot. And at least with the 2 wild cards now, I mean, there's by far an open shot to get in the postseason.
I
There's
agree.
nobody, nobody that's running away with
The White Sox are not in dead water or whatever you want to call it. I just don't think they're going to finish strong.
And
That's all.
we talked about it a few weeks ago. You look at the Minnesota Twins. You made that point just now that they're a home run hitting team. They're going to set up offensive records. I believe Polanco is their only hitter right now that's batting over 300.
Yeah.
And I think they have one other guy. The Sox right now have, I believe, 3 or 4 guys. Anderson's batting 330. McCann is at 338. Garcia's at 300. And Giolito is starting to,
There's a lot
get
of
going here, 8-1 and 2.5 ERA.
I mean, he keeps going on this roll. If I'm not mistaken, I thought I heard today that he's going to get the player of the month for me or
He got
something.
it.
He did get it.
He got
He
it.
did it. Good. Hey,
Player.
if he stays, listen, he stays on this trend,
Pitcher.
that's a chance to win every 5 days. If he stays on this trend with that ERA. And I'm not trying to get too excited being a White Sox fan, but it seems like it's starting to gel together. And you get a young team that gels together with nothing to lose. I mean, they could, like you said, they could rip another 7 wins out of the next 10 games.
Yeah.
So,
We'll see. I feel baseball is it's a 10 game swing. You
Yes.
look at every 10 games forward, 10 games backwards. What are you going to do in these next 10 games or 10 days here? Are you going to take advantage and move up in the standings here? Like you said, 3 against KC, you sweep Kansas City. That's a lot of ground to make up there.
Especially against the division rival.
Absolutely. I'm not afraid of Kansas City.
a lot of baseball left.
It is a lot, but I agree with you. This next month will tell a lot about the White Sox.
I think.
It will tell
Let's
a lot
get to
about
the
White
end of
Sox.
July and see where we're at.
But you said you got all these matches. You got the Cubs in the next couple of weeks.
And hey, they've lost 12 out of their last 18, so maybe we'll catch them in a little bit of a slump.
Interesting. New York Yankees were kind of down last time I was on the show. Now, they are now fighting for the number 1 overall spot with the LA Dodgers. Not in the power rankings by their records. You know, and that kind of brings me into my other thing. You know, my next point here. Who else is in that division? Where do you go?
Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
Awesome.
is
Wow.
Tampa Bay averaging out, or is the Yankees finally finding their stride and going to start running away with things here?
And Tampa Bay's still hanging around. They're
they
only
are.
a couple of games behind, but
But Tampa was up like 8-9 games before.
yeah.
So are they averaging out, or are the Yankees just finally finding their stride? And
I
starting
think
to
the
just kinda
Yankees
run
are
away
finding
with
their
things?
stride. You know,
They still got injuries, right? Or is everyone?
yeah. Well, they were
getting
hurt
back?
a little bit, banged up for a while, but
I think
Yeah.
they got some injuries, but at the most part, they're starting to get out.
and not to get off the point from the Yankees, it goes back to your team, the Cubs. If you're going to be a contender, you got to play like Yankees organization. How many times have Yankees made a move that sounded outlandish, but come Game 5 of the World Series, it looked like genius?
Absolutely.
If you're really looking at a championship, which I think it's championship or bust, because I think that team's breaking up if you don't pull it out this year. Either Madden's gone or whatever. But
It's not even. It's just June, and we're talking about Madden being.
I think he's laying up.
Another MLB, you know, two teams to look at though are the obviously we just mentioned the Dodgers, and Colorado. Colorado is trying their best to keep up with the Dodgers right now. Both teams are on a 9-1 swing. 9-1 their last 10 games.
Colorado comes to Wrigley as well.
Colorado is on an 8-game win streak.
Yeah, they're coming in loaded.
You know, so I think LA's slowly running away with that division. But when both teams are, you know, on a 5-7 game win streak, I believe LA is on a 6-game win streak, and then I just mentioned Colorado just won 8 in a row. So
And this is where it's nice to have the wild card in, because a team like Colorado deserves
yeah,
a spot if they're playing.
You're playing that good
good baseball towards the end.
All right, so let's talk 3 different topics real quick. Colorado comes into Wrigley tomorrow for a 3-game series, hottest team in baseball, arguably one of them. All right, Carlos Gonzalez made his debut for the Cubs today.
he did.
Okay.
Used to play for Colorado. He would kill the Cubs. Cubs would be scared of him.
Okay.
Does he make a factor against Colorado coming to Wrigley? Does he help them? Does he get in Colorado's head?
You can't hurt. You know.
I don't think it's going to be much of a factor. You play 162 games. Nobody's really. I mean, yeah, you circle them like, hey, I want to hit. I want to hit a couple doubles, or I want to hit a couple donks on a couple teams. But
Let's flash back to the wild card last year. Colorado took away the Cubs at Wrigley.
And listen,
So it might be something to play for the Cubs.
I didn't want to bring this up, but since you brought it up, I left it alone. But you brought the wild card. Your boy Madden managed your decision. Who pulled out their ace going to town in the 7th inning? Like, we live and die with it. Lester, why did he pull Lester?
someone who's trying to play for the next game.
You got to get to the
That's
next. You
what
got to
he
get
did.
to the next game first.
Absolutely.
I had a lot of questions.
I mean, listen, I'm telling you, you learned the hard way last year. All those games matter. So I think
Games
you
do
need to
matter,
pull it. I think
especially
you
games
need to-
against the White Sox.
They do.
We lost one game against the White Sox.
And look what happened.
You look at little things like that.
Let's
One
go
stupid
back to the
little-
White Sox.
one-
Worry about what you're doing.
One stupid little crosstown Cub, and that cost you.
I don't know. Nobody should.
Yeah.
Every game. You might think
matters.
I'm joking, but that's how I look at it.
Imagine if we had a good
Hats off to the
closer.
White Sox for ruining the Cubs right there.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that trophy.
Another little topic that has heated up in baseball: netting around the whole field, or just the field of play. How do you guys? The
It's-
tragic situation that happened last week in
Absolutely.
Houston.
And
How are we doing that? Are we extending the netting all the way to foul poles, or?
And I feel bad for the little girl and all the victims that it's happened to, getting hit by foul balls. It's never, you know, it hurts. I don't care what level you're at. Obviously, the higher the level, it hurts a little bit more. But I think I heard something the other day on the radio where maybe it's okay, you have to be a certain age to get down there. I'm not saying 21 plus, but you're bringing 3-4-year-olds down there that don't have reaction time. You know, because I really do feel that the MLB attendance right now is the lowest it's ever been since I believe 2003.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
low.
So it's-
50 year in a row, it's been down.
we're hurting. I think this is the lowest it's ever been since, like I said, 2003. And I feel like if you shell off the stadium like that,
It takes away.
it's gonna go down tremendously.
Takes away from the fan
You know, I
experience.
understand the safety. You have to be safe at these games, but that's what I'm saying. If you have the first 10, 15 rows, you have to be 12 and up or something. I don't think you can shell out the whole stadium just because of the attendance records for lack of the attendance we're setting right now.
Today's day and age, I can see it happening. Just extending it all the way to the foul balls. I can see it taken away from the fans.
I mean,
but
where does it go now? Third baseline? To the
Even a
third
little
base?
farther.
It goes to the dugouts, I believe.
So
Okay.
then you go to this. I've only been to Wrigley and Guaranteed Rate, whatever it's called now. You see so many foul ball signs. You see so many warning signs. Like, and it says different stuff. It doesn't say just warning foul ball. Like it says beware.
Yeah.
I mean, they got little animations for kids. I mean, they got so many warnings.
I think it's a combination of, listen, everybody's like this, in their phone, not paying attention to the game, not interacted. You know, I don't think accidents happen. I don't want to pin it on their parents not paying attention for them.
You don't know the situation,
But
so that's why I have.
I don't know. One of these days, you're going to get a big lawsuit against one of these teams.
Maybe that will be a poll.
We'll take care of that at the poll next week. But I don't like the idea of them shelling off the whole stadium or the whole field of play because people go to ball games for one of the reasons they
I
get a
mean,
souvenir.
Absolutely.
Yeah, foul ball.
You know, when I was a kid, even still now as an adult, when you go to a baseball game, your number one goal is to get a baseball.
Unless you take it away from a kid, that happens a lot. Like,
It does.
old
I don't
men tackling
I
kids.
can't
Be
even
racing.
gentlemen,
deal with
and
that.
if
I
it comes
can't
to
deal with
you, make it happen. But when I go to baseball games, yeah, I care if my team wins or loses, but I want a baseball. I'm not gonna go snatch it, but this field is shelled out. Well, guess what? I don't have a good chance to get a baseball.
No. Even like a home run ball. Like I almost had one. It went through my hand.
Right through his hands.
He was getting a hot one.
Well,
You see my
As
ESPN.
you see, we got comments from a fan. So let me go to a story. I had Canerco back in the 05, 06 days when we were champs. Was
Way back when.
cracked one, I mean, dead on. And I got the top spin right off the bare hand. And the worst part about it is the guy behind me, it bounced off my hand, goes in his hand, and this guy is already on the phone. Like, yeah, I caught it. I'm like, dude, I gave you the assist.
The assist.
Come on, but that thing was coming in
Give
hot.
the assist.
I know, it was weird because I don't know, grown man with a glove at the park. I don't know, man. It's okay for kids.
You would still go to the ball game.
No, maybe I should have went that day. I'd have a souvenir for the table,
Something
for
to
the
think
studio.
about.
But yeah, I lost that one.
One quick thing before we shift gears here: are the Red Sox? Now I'm going to use this term gingerly because are they one and done? Granted, I know they're not one and done because they're a great organization, but Chris Sale still can't find him. His only win coming against the White Sox. He's 1-7, 1-8 this year. They're just a dumpster fire. Really, they just cannot figure it out.
I'm just happy he got his one. He got some big money. You know what I mean? Like,
I think they are going down.
He's on the tail end of his career. He's starting to downshift. That's
Well,
for sure.
I think they understand what's going on with him, but you still got another 19, 20 players that, you got to be concerned about.
But I wouldn't put it past some of these teams. I'm not saying that
4 or 5 games under 500.
in baseball you could turn it on and turn it off. But it always seems like these teams like Boston, New York, the Dodgers, they're playing hot now. They find that gear in September, late September, So I don't.
But that's the thing. Like,
When the money's on the line.
you look at Seattle started out hot this year.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, oh, Seattle,
Yeah.
they fizzed out. Well, Boston has yet to do anything.
I got that.
They've won a few games here and there, but they have not gone on a big streak. They haven't really impressed anybody. I'm starting to kind of get. If I was a Boston fan or a really big Red Sox fan, I'm concerned.
Blow it up.
Yeah.
You
Well,
got
let's trade deadline. We'll see
Okay.
who's buyers and sellers.
Exactly, that's what you got to do.
So we'll see.
Let's see how Boston reacts. And speaking of reacts, let's see how you guys react to my division breakdown this week.
NFL division
Let's
breakdown.
switch over to NFL. Let's start off with our divisions of the day breakdown. We haven't decided a name for it. Division breakdown. Is that what we're going to do?
Yeah, we'll call it division breakdown. That's fine with me.
All right. NFC South. John, start us off.
Man, tough division. Kind of up in the air. I still think it's between Atlanta and New Orleans. You know what I mean? I think Carolina, depending which Cam Newton shows up, they'll hang around. Tampa Bay, I don't know. Are we still with who we got quarterbacking over there? Is it going to be Fitzpatrick? Is it going to be Winston? I mean, who else? Fitz is gone, right?
Fitz is left. But my take on the NFC South is actually really simple. It's almost kind of the opposite of yours. It's becoming one of the worst divisions in football. Atlanta is irrelevant nowadays.
Yeah.
They had their one and done in the Super Bowl and blew it, and
Yeah,
that's their
right.
problem. They're still somehow Super Bowl hangover. They cannot
Oh,
get it together.
I think
It's Matt
that
Ryan.
division, whoever wins, I mean, obviously New Orleans, Drew Brees, I mean, he's
Well,
always
I don't think it's even going to be a race with besides New Orleans. New Orleans is going to run away with that division. They got screwed out of their Super Bowl last year.
Oh, we're
it's still
flashing it
tough.
back, huh?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Tampa's not going to be much again this year.
Right.
Jameis Winston is not the future of that franchise. And Carolina, like you said, Cam, you're really banged up. It's been proven that they can win games without you with just even a mediocre backup. I think he went 1-2 or 3. It's not great, but you guys also, I believe, I think they were sub 500, or they did not have a good season last year. I forget their exact record, but that NFC South is just going to be atrocious again this year.
It's going down.
For some reason, I think Atlanta's going to hang around.
Matt Ryan, it's time to say.
I seen a stat that said that 12 out of their 16 games will be played in a controlled dome, controlled temperature. And they're a good turf team, you know what I mean? I mean, so is New Orleans. I think they're a class of their division. But I wouldn't be shocked. I'll go with New Orleans winning it, but I wouldn't be shocked if...
So break it down. So who's winning it? Who's losing?
I'll go on Atlanta. I'll say, for some reason, Atlanta will pull it out.
Atlanta?
I think New Orleans is going to be in, regardless, wild card or division. You can flip flop them. Same thing like you said with Carolina. Cam Newton, he's on tail end, and Tampa Bay. I mean, I think that's a once in fire. Yeah. I mean, it just didn't work out, James. That's it. I mean,
What did you break it down? You still got the same score?
Yeah, I mean, you basically got my breakdown. Like I said, 3 teams. There's 4 teams in that division, and you ask the random person on the street, they can't name the 3 other quarterbacks besides Drew Brees.
right.
Matt Ryan, I believe, is getting too old. He's not even that old, but just he's not as what he was. They've lost the running back in Tevin Coleman. Devontae Freeman has about 4 concussions a year, and the guy's never healthy. So I just think they're not going to be 500, that's for sure. Carolina, Cam Newton's going to sit out 4 or 5 games.
Yeah.
Just health-wise.
It's almost a guarantee that he
Like we
does.
said, Tampa Bay, Jameis is a better cheerleader than he is a quarterback. So.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think Saints are winning it. Just gonna mix it up here, blow it all up. Tampa Bay, second place. Carolina, then Atlanta.
They're just going against the grain.
I don't see anything good in Atlanta, so that's why they're finishing last. Tampa Bay, maybe they can squeeze something together. They had a miracle with Fitzpatrick, so maybe they can make someone else a miracle.
Maybe get on a special run there or something.
Yeah, and Carolina, like you said, I think it's going to be a fight for last place more than a fight for first place. So
That's very possible.
that's what's going to happen.
TJ, you brought up before the show. Roger Goodell wants. Go ahead.
I read something just this morning. The worst commissioner I've ever seen. A lot of people agree with me. He actually wants less preseason games, and I can agree to this because we have so much time at OTAs and all this kind of good stuff to try guys out. And I believe you have to go down to, I think 3 is the perfect number. 2, I think, is kind of pushing it.
Okay.
4, that first and the 4th week are just
Right.
I think if you go down to 3, all right, now we're here. This is your chance to shine. Second week, your starters are getting a little bit more action. And then the 3rd week, your starters play about 10, 15 snaps, and then you got another evaluation of all those guys.
Yeah, I mean, you played the game, so I would take off what you said. I mean, 2, I think it's, like you said, a little less. You played, you say 3 is a good number to get with all the practice. And then these injuries.
Yeah, you got so many injuries that happen in training camp and stuff like that. I think it's just nonsense to play 4 games at this point. A big thing with the NFL, I also seen that Terrell Pryor got signed by the Jags.
We had
a fan here.
We got a fan.
I think we
we have
got
a security personnel.
hashtag sign bill
Yeah.
interference here.
This
so-
is picking up some steam. So
Yeah,
let's
they
just cut into that real quick.
They don't like my opinion on it, so it happens.
Hey,
Back to what you were saying. Let's congratulate TJ. We said you were playing the game, and
Yeah.
now you got a chance to
yes.
coach the game. So
Hey.
TJ, tell us about a little promotion.
Thank you. I will be on the staff at Bremen High School for the sophomore squad. So so I'll be
Great.
coaching the line over there.
Hey,
So he got a coaching job, head coach for freshman baseball, and now he's head coaching or assistant coaching. He's part of the staff for JV. So congratulations.
Jack of all
Thank you.
trades.
Yeah.
Good job.
What can't you do, TJ?
Right.
What can't you do?
Well, there's very few things.
All right, like coach me.
Absolutely.
Right.
That's one thing we can agree
That's
on
it.
right there.
Do you
Right.
remember that summer?
That was
Uncoachable.
a stressful summer that year.
Uncoachable.
That was the best summer.
That one of our best years.
Um,
Anything else, gentlemen?
Yeah, I got a few things. The one thing I want to kind of point out that there's a lot of things going around right now. I don't know how to say this guy's name, but the Packers head coach tore his Achilles. He tore his
Well, I
Achilles
saw that.
playing basketball.
Oh.
He's a young guy trying to stay in shape. I get it.
I get it.
You know,
He's gonna get some
I-
bad things.
you know, I get it. You know, you're not playing your sport or whatever the case may be here, but you're trying to stay healthy. You're trying to stay, you know. But it's gonna hurt them because coaching from a cart is hard. You know, especially for a young coach. You know, I couldn't imagine just sitting on the cart trying to teach an line or as a head coach, like, hey, I got to talk to the quarterback and I'm just stuck on a cart.
I mean, he's got to earn a little bit of respect from the players too. I mean,
Yeah,
this is
absolutely.
he's already walking into a tough situation.
This is a rookie head coach. I mean, he was their offensive coordinator, but the other thing I want to kind of look at was Ryan, the quarterback matchup in Tennessee.
Okay.
You got Ryan Tannehill there now, which they already said he's going to be the backup. But Marcus Mariota, he goes into some droughts. When you look at the yards, it's a lopsided. So in 2018, Ryan Tannehill had 1,900 yards, 17 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. It's not a terrible year. Marcus Mariota, on the other hand, had 2,500 yards, only 11 TDs and 8 interceptions. So the TDs and the interceptions kind of favor Ryan Tannehill. Marcus Mariota has more yards.
So my next question is like Mariota, he's like peak. You know what I mean? Do you think? Do you think we've seen the best of Mariota so
I think
far?
teams have started. I think they figured him out by now. They have they make runs, and he's still mobile. He can still get out of the pocket really nice. But at the end of the day, I don't think he can sling it as well as Ryan Tannehill can. And if you he didn't really have too many weapons. Miami was terrible. It's not much better in Tennessee, but that's gonna. Once Tennessee starts losing some games,
I was just going to say,
someone's
so
gonna
the signing is, Tannehill's the backup right now, but
Yeah.
he's there to put a fire.
They're kind of, everybody's in Tennessee has said no, he's the backup. There's no controversy about it. But I'm high on Ryan Tannehill. I feel like they lose 2 or 3 in a row, they're going to switch.
Almost like Lamar Jackson, Flacco situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's
All
why I
right.
feel like they had to get rid of Flacco.
Right. Okay. Hey, I see it. I can see it.
Backups earning their stripes.
Well, listen. Hey.
Speaking of backups, some sad news
Oh,
with the
yeah.
Jaguars. Bull's wife had a miscarriage, and it's really sad. It's a bad subject, but the one thing I really want to touch up on is a lot of people just look at the athletes, and nobody looks at the family aspect of it. There was an article I read that Foles wanted to stay at home with his wife, obviously and understandably, and his wife said no. She said go to work. Obviously he took his time off, and when she really encouraged him to get back to work and do what he wanted to do, because she knows he loves the game of football. And to me, that's just awesome. And that's a tragic situation.
And to me, from a tragic situation, I think that's. I think with his wife supporting him like that, I think that's bad for his opponents.
Oh, absolutely.
That's gonna let
I mean,
players.
this guy, if he didn't need no more motivation.
Yeah, absolutely. And,
So
that's you don't hear too many things about that. They don't touch on it, but that thing, like I said, that's just tremendous. Of a family coming together and just saying, hey, like we're gonna get by this together.
And I think the Jaguars are always
absolutely.
now with him having to win the respect of the Jaguars. That's done.
Yeah.
That's done. I mean, he's going to come into that locker room and they're going to embrace him. And like I said, I mean, man, if he can control a game, manage a game, and with Jaguars, I mean, he can step up. They wouldn't shock me anything they did. So, man.
The NFL there?
Yeah, I mean, I think we could highlight the College World Series.
Yeah, so if anybody's been following the College World Series softball, game 1 for the World Series is tonight, UCLA and Oklahoma. Catch it right after the show here.
Sooners, right? Sooners. They'll be cheering for the Sooners.
I would like to see UCLA take it.
You always want to go to Penn State.
Well,
John,
You know what? I'm not gonna break down. I'll have a horse in this race, but big shout out for girls softball.
Oh, yeah.
Man, on primetime ESPN now,
Yeah.
the money's starting to roll in.
And I believe
Revenue.
if UCLA wins this, they have. I would have to double check this, but I know they got one of the most championship records. They were really good.
Yeah. Oklahoma's not. They're always in it too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So it should be an interesting series, interesting game one tonight.
It's gonna come down to the finish.
And it's something I wanted to touch on. I seen last week. Girl from Oklahoma State. Man, you talk about MLB backflips. This girl had a pretty epic backflip after cracking one. I like it.
You know,
We know you.
it's. I feel like in softball, college softball is played with so much emotion. You know, there's times where I love watching college softball just based on the emotion they play with, the intensity of the game is. You know, there's never a dull moment.
No.
Baseball, when you're watching on TV, can get boring. You're like, all right, it's third, fourth inning. They only play 7 innings, and every inning is intense. I don't care if it's 8-0. They're trying not to get 10-run ruled. I watched the Alabama game the one day, and it's just everything's intense.
And in girl softball, 8-0 means nothing. I mean, that's one inning for the other team to get on the roll.
Get a little bit of a streak, and boom. Yeah, so I love watching college softball, women's softball.
I mean, that's
I do. It's really intense.
yeah.
Well,
Great competition.
like I said earlier, it's gonna come down to the finish. I don't know. Go sooner.
Nah.
Yeah.
I'll go
Like
with
JR.
UCLA.
Like,
I'd say UCLA.
of course you do. You know, you guys go against everything I say. I can say it,
Part
I'm
of my
right in
job.
it. No, it's gonna be sunny outside.
It's part of my job.
That about does it here. Anything else you want to touch on? Catch us next week. New location, Slapshots. You'll see all of us dolled up in our polo. No more Ohio State.
You got.
I'll be back for college football season with this. Maybe even a jersey. Urban Meyer.
Oh wow.
That'll be tough
Get a
to
little
sit
flat.
next to.
Yeah.
That would be tough to sit next to. But for now, Cubs will regain first place after next time we talk. That's what it'll
All
be.
right. Let's keep that. Let's put it recorded.
And-
What hold me to it?
The Trees got 4 games coming up. Misfits have 4 games coming up. You gonna be able to make any of the 4?
Yeah, I'll be making the last 2 though.
Yeah.
I'll be making a
Bonus question here. Trees. What are you going in those 4 games? 0-4, 1-3. What?
Well, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. So,
Oh.
we'll see.
How's fielding percentage looking for you lately?
I've been taking some work at second, talking to the trainer. Something just doesn't feel right. So we're gonna try to get it together. I need to know.
Well, what I was going to think about is, as you are one of the assistant coaches for the Diamond Girls,
Yeah.
we got our practice tomorrow.
So
So
you're gonna help me out?
we could throw you out there, maybe have somebody show you some moves out there.
Cool.
You know,
We'll talk.
Couple
Any
guys,
tips
uh,
for Jacob Conway here for his fielding percentage? Go ahead and leave it in the
yeah.
comments.
Listen.
Just
leave
as
it
you
in-
know, offense I think I'm doing pretty good. Slugging about 800, but
Okay.
I don't know, more home runs than TJ. But that about does it here for Second Take,
Yeah.
guys. We're about to dine in with our pizza, half price. So,
Oh man.
not bragging
Sorry.
here, but while you guys are cooking and we're spending full price somewhere else, we got half price pizza. So, John, I know you got pizza. TJ, we're about to dig into ours. And
go.
that about does it here. We'll see you guys next week.
See you
For
next
TJ,
week. Thanks.
John,
Next
this is
week.
Jacob. See you guys next week. Sucks.